Hello YouTube, Red to Green here again with another recap. Today is February 8th, 2022, and it was a decent day for me. It was a decent day. By the way, I added timestamps on the bottom, so in the comment section, check out the timestamps. You can see where I reveal my Pnl. Also, I talk about different stocks, and I'll just add a different timestamp for each stock, so check that out for sure. Click a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for a recap. And reveal for the Pnl is right now, and we are up $413. You see the chart in front of me? This is my Pnl for the day. I went red right away early morning. You see it was a tiny red. It's about negative $13, and then I quickly recovered and I stayed above $100 for most of the day. And then towards the lunchtime I crossed the $300 mark, and around 1 p.m. I crossed the $400 mark. I streamed today around 4 hours. My streaming PC died right before I traded PTON and right before I traded DCFC. These are the crazy mover stocks for me that got me over that 300 and over the 400 mark. So let's get into the recap. Start off with BKKT. It's the only stock that I'm down on. It's the only stock that I couldn't get a grip on. I couldn't read it. It had opportunities. It had a break of highs, bounce of a VWAPs, beautiful setups here and there. I just didn't capitalize on it. I couldn't get a hang of it. I couldn't read it. I didn't see level 2 properly, and I'm glad I'm only down around $4 on it. So that's nothing too crazy or too insane, right? But still upset that I wasn't able to properly capitalize and read the breakouts and pullbacks on this stock. Sometimes that stock is readable, and I believe I did have days where I was profitable on this stock. Nothing really stands out as far as kind of interest, right? It wasn't, nobody were watching it at pre-market. It wasn't really a pre-market mover, and I started to look at it right maybe about 15 minutes into the open, and the volume was kind of high on it, and then as it started breaking the highs, right, it was given the alerts and then broke the VWAP and then bounced of a VWAP, and I tried to capitalize on BKKT. Unfortunately, that's it. Nothing really a lot to say. I was focusing on other stuff mostly, and BKKT was kind of left on the back burner for me. Next stock is CFVI. CFVI is a decent mover for me today, almost $83. I had a good sense of level 2 for this stock. I believe we also traded that stock sometime last week, if my memory doesn't. Okay, so yesterday we traded. I was up on it $51. Yeah, it's overall it's a decent mover, right? Just gotta watch out for this crazy pullbacks, the break of VWAP. It didn't even respect the VWAP, so if somebody's trading a bounce of a VWAP, be really careful on this type of stocks. Just again, it's a very situational stock, and by situational I mean you have to be there, you have to watch it, right? It's not something that you can anticipate or kind of predict. Even if you set alerts for the price levels, for the breaks, it's really like it pop and drop type of scenario where you get an alert, you're really pretty much you're late to the party, right? If you're the type of trader that I am. So, and as you can see right now in 5 minutes, it tried to break that high. It broke that high. It was a false breakout and quickly retraced it. So now we're basically retracing on the downturn, and I'm not sure, we're about 30 minutes before market close, so I'm sure we're pretty much going to stay around this level. That's my prediction on this stock. The next stock is DCFC. That was the interesting stock. It actually halted. Interestingly, that was it was actually a crazy halt too. The halt was right away, and resumption on that halt was around what? It halted at 850. It resumed probably around 10ish, 990. So it was crazy resumption, very strong resumption, right? And when we have a strong resumption, that's a symbolic of continuation higher usually, right? Not necessarily, but have to watch for that. And look at this bull flags, right? Look at that breakout of 1015 into the high. You could have capitalized a good deal on this. Unfortunately, I missed the majority of the moves. after the halt. I wasn't really anticipating the halt. I wasn't ready for the halt to move that much. I wasn't ready for this type of stock at all. To me, kind of was pop and drop type of stock. And guess what? It was. If you continue looking, it's kind of sold off, and everybody is kind of like, okay, well, it died down, so let's focus on something else. Well, not really, because here comes 12 o'clock, right? 12 o'clock, we see increase in volume at 12 o'clock, broke through the VWAP. I actually traded that break of a VWAP. Then look at the bounce. I was actually anticipating the bounce of a VWAP, and it happened. So if you did trade that break and bounce of a break of 1 minute candle and then bounce from the VWAP type of scenario, you could have capitalized it. And if you scalp that area, you got to be quick, right? Look at those wicks on the 1 minute. You had to be really, really quick. And then I think once it starts pulling back, and that flush here in 1 minute candle bounce of a VWAP again did not really hold, right? Tried to hold it and bounce it up, and then flushed again. It's a very symbolic of weakness, right, in the stock. And then look at that. We have a recovery, right? We recovered to that same level where we kind of bounced off when we bounced off a VWAP. We tried it. We didn't make it. We bounced. We kind of flushed again, right? But we didn't really break that previous low of that previous flush, right? We kind of stayed within the same range. So now people are starting to kind of realize that, and like, okay, that looks like there's somebody supporting that stock from that level, so it has a potential to move. And guess what? It did pop. And look at that pop. And if you traded that bull flag pattern set up right here, you were golden. So check this out. Like this guy here, you know, overall, I feel like that's like a book bull flag by the book, right? If you're reading those technical analysis books, that's a perfect scenario. So, but again, you had to be there, you had to watch it, and every minute the candle formed, you had to be there to draw that flag, to assume that flag. And a lot of people sometimes you see that candle right here in the wick, people anticipate that, right? People anticipate that break, it doesn't happen, and it falls, and that's where you lose money. So got to be careful here. But the thing about trading a breakout, when they don't work out the first time, you have to have enough cushion, or you have to have enough equity to trade it again. You know, continuously try to fish. That's at least what I do. I fish for that breakout momentum, right? If it doesn't work out the first time, there's a high chance or a higher chance that it's going to break out next time if it supports at previous lows, which in this case it did. So that's the scenarios I was watching, and I'm always watching those type of scenarios. Over 16 stocks, right above of my top monitor has 16 stocks, and I basically changed throughout the day all those 16 stocks. They're not a static list, meaning if I see that DCFC was dying out and below VWAP for about 3 hours, guess what? It's off of that list. But then sometimes it's still on the back burner, and I see the chart, and the chart's kind of like showing me, oh, there's a volume. And I kind of glance over it with my left eye. It's like, okay, interesting. I pull it up on my main chart, and I look at it. Okay, there's opportunity setting up. So that's the type of trading I do. So DCFC was given some decent momentum today. So I hope you guys capitalize on this momentum. I sure did. It gave a lot of moves towards the latter half of the day. Basically $95 on this stock. So I'm pretty happy. Now let's talk about a bumpy ride today as PTON, right? Peloton was all over the CNBC today. And by the way, I stream CNBC. You can see it. And a lot of people were talking about it, right? The questions were, is it a recovery and is it what? A lot of bumpy rides type of communication, right, over TV. And guess what? It was a bumpy ride. And overall, it was very strong on the 5-minute chart, right? Let's look at some of the areas where I got smoked, okay? And I gotta tell you, so this specific area right here, okay, look at this 1-minute candle, look at that breakout, right? You take a breakout of 75, you take a breakout of 80, okay? It happens like this in a matter of seconds. It happens really fast. Guess what happens next? It pulls back. It looks like it's about to stall for a second. I get in. I get in around 90, I believe, because I felt like that's going to bounce off of that, and it looked like it kind of bounced from 87. I clicked market buy. I got in at 91. I was like anticipating again for the break of that 39.20. It never happened. What happened next? Right here. It flushes. I got out at 38.41. So in at 90, out at 41. 50-cent loss. 50-cent loss in the scalping world is a lot. I gotta tell you that, because if we're scalping 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cents a trade, you pretty much gave back most of your gains with a 50-cent loss. And that's a downside of scalping. Downside of scalping are flushes. Flushes like this. When you misread something, when you misread the stop, when you're being too aggressive. A small deviation from your strategy, small deviation from your process could lead to a loss. There's not a lot of room for error, and you have to remember this. With scalping, there's not a lot of room for error. And the error happened. I misread level 2 and I lost 50 cents. Now, good thing, since the stock was at the high, it was trying that high. Usually that second pullback, it reaches the high and pulls back because they're short sellers or people taking profit because they're kind of scared that it's not going to break that high of day. And that's exactly what I was kind of anticipating, right? But I also anticipated that squeeze up. So long story short, I took only 75 shares. So 50 cents on it was about $35 for me. So not a lot, but still I was up about 50 at that time, maybe $40. So I lost pretty much all the gains I made. And that was upsetting. And I got to tell you, one gain that was beautiful is the pop. I'm trying to remember where it popped. It looked like this. It looked like it was setting up for this break and pop. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, volume comes in and it pops 40, 60 cents. And I made $50. Those things happen, but very rarely. You have to be ready for them. You have to kind of practice them, because sometimes out of nowhere you can see that 30, 40 cents. You have to be quick. You have to sell right away, because if you don't, that thing's most likely going to flush back down even lower. A lot of people taking profit, a lot of people taking shorts, that people short into pops a lot. So you got to watch out for that. And people take profit at the pops, because 30, 40 cents, that's a good gain on the dollar, right? 40% gain. So just watch out for that. And that's what happened to me. It's kind of like I did a whole analogy where you walk outside to walk your dog and you see a $50 laying on the street. That's pretty much how I made that $50. It's not something because I saw coming. It's not something that I read on level 2. It was just I was at the right place at the right time. My trade was there, and just overall, right, the whole, like I said, right place at the right time. Anyway, after that flush that got me 50-cent flush, I was pretty much break even. But then what? Guess what? I continued to trade. I traded this breakout higher. I saw the volume. I saw the strength in the stock. The volume was up popping, and I made almost $100 on the stock. I stopped trading as soon as I saw this candle right here, and that was a high of day, and I'm glad I did. So that was it for me. Was Peloton. Good day was Peloton. Bumpy ride for sure. It was basically green to flat to back to green. That's how Peloton was for me. All right, next stock is SOPA. SOPA is our favorite, right? We traded it last month, maybe last month in January. I remember that stock. Overall, good reader. I'm able to read it on level 2. Today showed some strength momentum. I did jump in on the signs of strength, and I capitalized on that. And I think that was kind of a savior for me, because throughout the day, if you look at my daily chart, right, intraday chart right here, I was hovering around $200. That's pretty much because of SOPA, mostly. So again, SOPA, nothing really much to say. It was just I was trying to trade the pops in and pops out, just kind of quick in and out, and traded it a lot, $96. Nothing crazy. Next stock is Tesla. Tesla is everybody's favorite. Again, I'm not going to go into detail on Tesla. Everybody knows Tesla. There's so many people that trade Tesla. It's a large cap stock. I did increase my share size on Tesla. I traded it with 25 shares at one time. I then lowered it to 10 shares. I traded with 25 shares. I was up $44. Then I traded with 25 shares, and I was down. I lost $20. So I was only up $22. So I was like, you know what? You can gain $1, or you can lose $2 like this in a matter of seconds in Tesla if you misread it. So I kind of decreased the share size, and I was trading the pops. I kind of anticipated the volume increases, and that's pretty much what I did. I traded those pops, the increases in volume on Tesla, and I'm up $45. So not bad there. It was basically like a cherry on top of everything that was going on. So crossed the $400 mark. I'm pretty happy for the day. I will update my monthly tracker. I'm still working on releasing that monthly tracker, and hopefully, guys, I will share it with you. It's going to be very similar to the trader view. It's the only good thing, the better thing about it, it's not going to make mistakes. Like, see the screenshots of a trader view. The total trades are 10, and obviously I made a lot more trades. And by the way, today I made 332 trades, which I feel like a lot in the stock world. So I was in and out a lot, and yesterday I made 320 trades. So I need to kind of calm that down, because a lot of trades not usually good. It has to be opposite, right? I have to decrease number of trade and increase the profit factor, right? And I had people commenting today saying, hey, why are you trading with a smaller share size? I am trading with a smaller share size because that's the size I'm comfortable with. And if you watch my live videos sometimes when the market is hot, like watch some days in December, right? Watch some days when I made $1,000, when I make $800. You can see my size is very proportional. First of all, my size is very proportional to the stock's overall move, the average range of that move. I'm not going to take 1,000 shares of Tesla because it's a 2-point move on a micro flush. Whether like BKKT, I don't mind taking 2,000 shares. BKKT was moving very like in a matter of just cents, 4 cents. That's fine. I can tolerate the micro pullback of 4 cents with 2,000 shares, but I won't be able to tolerate a Tesla 2-point move. So first of all, that's number one. I balance my share size dependent on the overall range of a stock and how it moves, how it pops. Okay. The second thing is a mental comfort. Okay. There's totally three things, right? Total three things. So the second thing is mental comfort. I'm comfortable with that share size. It gives me confidence to add sometimes. And I don't know if you guys watch my live recap on CFVI and sometimes on DCFC. I actually added. So being in that micro pullback, I see that it's holding that level, and I see the new volume coming in, and to push it higher, I get in again. So I'm in twice. Okay, so if I was in with 1,000 shares right away, I would not be comfortable to add another 1,000 shares the second time around, because the potential of it flopping right on me and turning around, it could lose a lot, because now you're double exposed. But if I'm in with a smaller share size that I'm comfortable, I can even double tap it, right? Pretty much. That's what happens. So it gives me that flexibility, and I gain the confidence if the market is strong, so I can continue adding if I need to. I can add 3 times. So, and also pullbacks, right? That's another thing. If you're in and you see like it's still a little weaker and you got in just a little too early, and you see that micro flush again, but it still holds the overall right range or your line that you drew, then you can add again, because guess what? You weren't highly exposed right away from the first trade. That's exactly why I trade with the share size I traded. And the number 3 I think is important is the broker. Broker will start slipping you if you increase your share size to an extent. Okay. Free commission brokers, they tend to they sell order flow, and it's not direct access. So if you have 5,000 shares that you want to get on the market on a free commission order, no commission broker, I got to tell you that right now, 150 share market buy and a 5,000 share market buy will get 2 different average prices, and the favorable is going to be the 150 share price. And sometimes it could make or break a scalper, because if you're in the 5,000 shares and the price moves against you and you lost 3 cents, It's actually a lot worse than if you're in with 150 shares and you break even on that trade. Okay, so and then if you balance out 300 orders over that time and you average out 3-4 cents worse price average for 300 orders, now 300 times 4 cents, you do the math how much you lose over the stock. So anyway, that's pretty much, it's basically like statistics is a math game in a way, right? Until TOS changes anything, if they change anything, but so far it's working out. I'm going to stick to it, and if something changes, we'll adapt. Anyway, this recap is getting long, and that's it for today. Please hit thumbs up, subscribe if you like the recaps. Stay tuned for my live videos. I live stream every day. Come join me, come say hi. There's also a link in Discord. I stream live voice in Discord. It has a little bit less lag if you're the type of trader that I am, trying to get in the breakouts and you want to be a little earlier than some of the YouTube stream or Twitch. So anyway, guys, thank you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.